Introduction. My name is Jenny. I was 24 years old when I first met Tom. He was a kind man, strong, and always funny. He was a soldier, and I admired his bravery greatly. I loved how he was ready to help others and full of courage. He made me feel safe and happy. We met in a small cafe in our town. Tom came with his best friend, Charlie. It was clear they were more than just friends. They were like brothers. They had grown up side by side, sharing many memories. They had even joined the army together. Their trust in each other was deep. They laughed easily and supported each other. Tom and I started talking that day. Soon, we began spending more time together. He was a wonderful person. His stories about the army were exciting, but his gentle heart truly captured mine. I learned about his dreams and hopes. I fell in love with his kindness and the strength he showed. It felt like a special connection, a love that was meant to be. After 1 year, Tom asked me to marry him. I said yes. Our wedding was simple, with close family and friends. The room was filled with warmth, laughter, and love. We promised to be together forever. Charlie, Tom's best friend, stood beside him as his best man. He smiled at me. Later, he came up to me and said, "Take good care of him, Jenny." His words were sincere, and I promised I would. That day was perfect. My life felt complete, full of joy and a bright future with Tom. We had many simple dreams for our life together. We believed our love was strong enough for anything. But I did not know then that life had other plans. I could not see that soon events would happen that would change everything we knew. Our happy, simple world would face a challenge. The path ahead was hidden. On that day, next to Tom, I only felt love and hope for our future. 2. A sad letter. Tom had to leave for the war. It was a sad day, but he promised me he would come back. I believed him with all my heart. After he left, my world felt a little quieter. Every day, I waited for news from him. I checked the post box. I looked at my phone. I hoped for a call or a short message. Each day without a word felt very long. I thought about him all the time, praying for his safety. Then, one morning, something changed. The postman brought a letter. It was not a message from Tom. It was a different kind of letter. My hands started to shake when I saw the official stamp. I opened it slowly. The words inside were very clear, but they felt like a bad dream. The letter said that Tom had died. He died during a mission far away. My heart stopped beating for a moment. I could not breathe. The world around me became blurry. I dropped the letter. Tears came to my eyes, but I could not cry out loud. It was a silent, deep pain. My brave, kind Tom was gone. My future, my happy life, all of it was broken in one moment. I sat down, feeling very cold and lost. Later that same day, Charlie came to my door. He did not need to say anything. His eyes were red and full of tears, just like mine. He knew. He hugged me tightly. I felt his strong arms around me, and for the first time, I let the tears come. I cried on his shoulder for many hours. I cried for Tom, for our love, and for the empty life that was now mine. Charlie just held me. He was there, silent and strong. The days after were very difficult. Each morning I woke up and the sadness was still there. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. I tried to do normal things, but everything felt empty. My home felt big and quiet without Tom. Charlie did not leave me alone. He came every day. He helped me with everything. He fixed the small things in the house that Tom used to fix. He went to the shop to buy food. Sometimes I could not even get out of bed, and Charlie would just sit with me. He listened when I spoke about Tom, and he was quiet when I had no words. He was not just a friend anymore. He was the only person who understood my pain. In my empty world, I started to need Charlie more and more. He was my rock, my only comfort in the dark. 3. The quiet years. 2 years went by slowly. Life was quiet but very lonely. Every day felt the same. Tom was still gone, and his absence was a heavy silence in my home. I was 26 years old. My world was calm but empty. I often thought about Tom and our short time together. The sadness was still there, a quiet ache in my heart. Charlie still came to see me often. He was my only close friend. He did not talk much about Tom. Sometimes he just sat with me. Other times he told small stories, making me smile a little. He never asked me to forget Tom. He just wanted me to be okay. He was always there, a steady, kind presence. His visits made the loneliness easier. I started to depend on his quiet support. He made me feel less alone. One cold winter evening, snow fell softly outside. Charlie and I sat by the warm fireplace in my living room. The fire made soft sounds. Charlie looked different that night. He seemed nervous. His hands moved restlessly. He took a deep breath, then spoke. His voice was soft, almost a whisper. "Jenny," he began, "I have tried to keep this a secret for a long time." He paused, looking at the fire. Then he looked at me. "But I love you." My heart beat very fast. It was a sudden shock. I did not know what to say or think. His words came from nowhere, filling the quiet room. I stood up quickly. I walked away from the fireplace, turning my back. I could not look at him. "Charlie, I cannot," I whispered, my voice shaky. "It does not feel right, not after Tom." He nodded slowly. I heard him sigh softly. "I understand, Jenny," he said. He did not say more. He left soon after into the cold, snowy night, but his words stayed with me. I could not stop thinking about what he had said. My mind was full of questions. Was it wrong to feel anything new after Tom? Could I ever truly love again? His confession changed something inside me. A new feeling, small and quiet, began to grow slowly, like a tiny seed. It was confusing. I was still sad for Tom, but Charlie's gentle kindness was a comfort. The idea of a different future, one with Charlie, began to form. The possibility was now there. For I said yes. Spring arrived, bringing light and warmth. After 2 quiet years, the world outside my window seemed to wake up. Flowers began to bloom in bright colors, and the trees grew new green leaves. The air smelled fresh, full of promise. This new season felt different, like a gentle hand pushing me forward. It was a time for new beginnings, a time to let go of the long winter. Charlie helped me in the garden often. We spent many afternoons planting small rose bushes. His hands were strong and careful as he dug the soil. He talked about simple things, like the weather or the plants we were putting in the ground. Sometimes he would look at me and smile. It was a kind smile, full of warmth and understanding. When he smiled, I felt like I was the only person in the whole world. Slowly, something inside me started to change. The heavy sadness I had carried for so long felt a little lighter. A new, soft feeling began to grow in my heart, like the spring flowers around us. One evening, as the sun set, we sat on the porch. The air was cool and peaceful. I looked at Charlie and took a deep breath. "Charlie," I said, my voice quiet, "I don't want to be alone anymore." He turned to me, his eyes gentle. He took my hand in his. "You never were alone, Jenny," he said softly. His words were a comfort. That night, I decided to let go of the pain that held me back. I looked at him, and for the first time I told him I loved him too. It felt right, like finally finding a path I was meant to walk. Our new chapter began. We started to spend more time together, not just as friends, but as a couple. We went on small dates. We laughed more often, a light, joyful sound that had been missing from my life. We walked by the quiet lake near my home, holding hands as the sun went down. We cooked simple dinners together, sharing stories and dreams. Every day, our connection grew stronger. We found happiness in small moments, like a shared glance or a quiet evening at home. After a few months of this new life, Charlie asked me a very important question. He asked me to marry him. I looked at him, my heart full of a new kind of love and hope. I remembered the long, lonely years, and now here was a chance for a different future. I knew in my heart that this was right. Without a moment of doubt, I said yes. I wanted to believe in love again, and with Charlie, I truly could. I wanted to build a new life, full of peace and shared joy. Our future felt bright, like the spring day that had started it all. 5, a wedding and a ghost. Our wedding day arrived. It was a small, simple event, just as we wanted. Only a few close friends and family came. The sun shone brightly, and birds sang softly. I wore a light, white dress, and Charlie looked handsome in his suit. We stood together, holding hands. My heart felt full of peace. For the first time in years, I felt truly happy and calm. I looked at Charlie, and he smiled back. His eyes were kind and full of love, promising a bright future. I believed a new, good life was starting for us, free from past shadows. I thought Tom would have wanted me to find happiness again. This day was a fresh start, a promise of a calm future. We exchanged our vows. Everyone clapped, and we shared our first kiss as husband and wife. It was a beautiful, hopeful moment. After the wedding, life felt easy and good. Charlie and I started our new life together in our small home. We cooked meals, walked in the park, and talked for hours about our dreams. Every day felt peaceful and full of quiet joy. I was building a new home, a life with Charlie, full of trust and care. My sadness was gone forever. We had many plans for the future, small dreams we shared. I felt safe and loved, like I had found my way back home after a long journey. Then, one evening, everything changed in a moment. I was in the kitchen, making dinner, humming a quiet song. The warm smell of food filled the air. Suddenly, I heard a loud knock at the door. It was a strong, firm knock, not like a friend's gentle tap. I walked to the door, wondering who it could be. I opened it slowly, and my heart stopped. Standing there in a soldier's uniform was Tom. He was alive. His face was different, older, and his eyes were cold and hard. My body froze. I could not move or speak, only stare. "Tom," I whispered, my voice barely a sound, full of disbelief. He looked tired, but also very angry. The air around us became heavy and cold. He looked at me, then past me. His words were low, but they hit me like a heavy stone. "You married my best friend," he said, his voice flat and full of pain. In that terrible moment, my peaceful new world broke into 1,000 tiny pieces. The happiness, the hope, the new life I had built with Charlie, it all crashed down. My past and my present collided. Tom, the man I thought was dead, was standing in front of me alive. And I was married to Charlie, his best friend. My mind was empty, full of shock and fear. I could only stare at him, feeling a deep, cold dread. My new life had just begun, but it was already ending. 6. The truth. The air in our small home felt heavy. Tom stood in his uniform. Charlie sat on the armchair, his face pale. I stood between them, my hands shaking. No one spoke for a long time. Then Tom began to speak. He told us his story. He explained he was captured during a mission 2 years ago. For all that time, he was a prisoner. He could not send messages. No one knew if he was alive or dead. He said it was a hard time. He thought about coming home every day. Finally, he escaped. He made his way back, hoping to see me. He came back to find me married to his best friend, Charlie. His voice was tired and full of sadness. Charlie looked at Tom, his eyes wide. "Tom," he said quietly, "we truly believed you were gone forever. The army sent a letter. Everyone said you died." Charlie's shoulders dropped. "You were like my brother. I never thought you would come back." Tom looked at Charlie. His eyes were full of hurt. "You were my best friend," Tom said, his voice breaking. "How could you marry my wife? How could you forget me?" His words were sharp knives in the quiet room. I felt tears fall. My heart ached for both men. I did not know what to say. I stepped forward, wanting to make them understand. "Tom," I said softly, my voice weak, "I loved you so much. Losing you was the hardest thing. I thought my life was over. Charlie helped me to live again. He was there when I had nothing left." My words felt small and empty in the face of Tom's pain. Tom did not answer. He looked at us both. His face showed deep pain. It filled the whole room. There was nothing more to say. The silence returned, even heavier than before. Our home, full of love hours ago, now felt cold and empty. That night, Tom left the house. He found a place to stay in town. He did not come back to our home. He did not visit. Soon, people in the town started to talk. They whispered when they saw me. They looked at Charlie with strange eyes. I felt like a stranger in my own life. The truth had come out, and it changed everything for all of us. 7 between 2 men. The days after Tom's return were very hard. Weeks passed slowly. Tom did not come back to our home. He stayed in a small room in town, avoiding me and Charlie. The house felt cold. A heavy sadness filled every room. I often thought about Tom, about his changed eyes and our past love. I also looked at Charlie, my new husband, and felt a mix of love and fear. The town whispered about us. Their looks followed me. It made me feel like a stranger, even with Charlie by my side. One afternoon, Tom came to the house. The air grew tense. He looked at Charlie first. Tom's face was hard. "I cannot forgive you," Tom said to Charlie. Then Tom turned to me. His eyes were full of deep sadness. "And you, Jenny," he said, "you broke me." My eyes quickly filled with tears. I had cried many times since Tom came back. Charlie tried to speak, but Tom held up his hand. "No," Tom said, "I do not want to fight. I just want peace." He sounded very tired, deeply hurt. Charlie looked at Tom for a long time. Then he looked at me. His face showed sadness and quiet strength. "I will leave if that is what you want," Charlie said quietly to Tom. My heart jumped. I turned to Charlie, shocked. "No, Charlie," I cried out. "You cannot just walk away." I could not imagine life without him now. Charlie gently took my hand. "I love you, Jenny," he said softly, "but I do not want to destroy what is left of him." He meant Tom, his best friend. Charlie was ready to give up his happiness for Tom's sake. I stood between them, frozen. My heart ached. It felt pulled in 2 ways. I had loved Tom for many years. He was my first love, my soldier, my husband who came back. But I also loved Charlie. He was my comfort, my support, the one who helped me live again. He was my husband now. How could I choose? How could I tell one to leave and one to stay? The past and the present stood before me. I knew I could not live in the past, but I also could not forget it. This was the hardest choice of my life. I did not know what to do. 8. The final choice. That evening, I knew I had to talk to Tom one last time. I found him sitting alone, looking out the window. The room was quiet, different from the angry silences we had shared before. He turned to me, and his eyes were no longer cold. There was a calmness in them now, a kind of tired peace. He spoke slowly, his voice gentle. "I forgive you, Jenny," he said, "and I forgive Charlie too." My heart felt a little lighter, but still heavy with sadness. He continued, "But I cannot stay here. This place holds too many memories, too much pain for me now." He then shared his decision. "I will go back to the army. It is where I belong. You and Charlie, you can live your life together now. Find your happiness." Tears welled up in my eyes again. It was a different kind of sadness this time, mixed with understanding. "Tom, I never wanted to cause you such pain," I whispered, my voice breaking. He nodded, a sad smile touching his lips. "Perhaps this is what life wanted for us, Jenny," he said. "Different paths." We talked a little longer, not about the past, but about the future, about finding peace. It was a quiet conversation, a farewell in its own way. We both knew this was the end of one story and the beginning of another. Tom left very early the next morning. The sun was just starting to rise, painting the sky with soft colors. I stood by the window, watching his car move down the road. It looked small as it drove further and further away, until it disappeared completely from my sight. A chapter of my life closed with that car. Charlie came to my side then. He did not say much, but he gently took my hand. His touch was warm and steady. "We can start again," he said softly, his voice full of hope. His words were a promise, a comfort, and we did. Charlie and I began to build our new life together. It was a quiet life, peaceful and full of small, everyday moments. We spent time in the garden, planting new flowers and watching them grow. We cooked simple meals and ate them together, talking about our day. We walked by the lake, holding hands, enjoying the calm water. We found happiness in the simple things, in being together, in building a future that was truly ours. The town's whispers slowly faded away, replaced by the quiet rhythm of our days. Years passed, and our life together grew stronger. I often thought of Tom, not with the sharp pain of guilt or regret, but with a deep sense of respect. He had been a brave soldier, a kind husband, and a good friend. He had taught me what true love meant, and also the strength needed to face deep pain. A part of my heart would always remember him, the soldier who had come home too late to reclaim his past. But my life, my present, and my future were with Charlie, the man who had stayed by my side and helped me find love again.